Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy, mate. How you doing? Good, I hope. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news. The day after Chelsea have defeated Tottenham. Let's just check my focus is focused. Am I focused? Yeah, I think so. The day after Chelsea beat Tottenham for the 4th time this season. That is incredible, friends. You know it feels good. Lots to talk about today. We are going to talk about the 4-1-4-1 formation, the Wizard, Hakim Ziyech, Thomas Tuchel. Chelsea news as well. Armando Broja is wanted by West Ham, as well as, of course, Southampton, which is the club he's on loan at now. I want to talk about maybe the loanees. Lots to get into, right? So settle in and get comfortable. I'd urge you guys to drop a like. Please, it takes a second and it helps me out a lot. And you're all welcome to subscribe should you choose to do so. And if you choose to do so, please do make sure all notifications are turned on. Hey, check this out. Okay, there's nothing there. Interesting. There you go. Check this out. Thomas Tuchel has beaten all these managers since being appointed Chelsea manager last January. Antonio Conte, 3 times, of course. 3 times being this season, I guess. The 2 cup games, and of course yesterday. Pep Guardiola 3 times as well. I saw a tweet somewhere saying that both Conte and Guardiola hadn't been defeated 3 times by one manager until Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea. And I think that's true because I remember it being said about Pep Guardiola when we beat them 3 times in a row last season, of course, in the league. FA Cup semi-final, and of course, how could you forget the Champions League final? So that's incredible. Diego Simeone twice, that would be 2 legs in the Champions League, and of course, Ancelotti, Mourinho, Zidane, Klopp, and Allegri. Just wanted to tip my cap there to Thomas Tuchel as he's come up to 1 year in charge of Chelsea Football Club. So let's. We're not going to spend too much time talking about the game yesterday. Of course, which was magnificent, but I do want to talk about the 4-1-4-1. But to reflect yesterday on the stats from Hakim Ziyech here, obviously this is from Sky Sports coverage. He was first for goals, first for shots, first for final third entries, first for passes into the final third. So hold on, deep that. 10 final third entries, dribbling and carrying the ball into the final third, into the box. And first for passes into the final third. 28 passes into the final third. That is incredible against good opposition as well. So creative as well as being offensive himself. 9 crosses, first for that. First for duels won and first for tackles. Duels won and tackles. He's not just this slight dude who's like being really creative and scoring goals and putting passes in and dribbling the ball into the box. He's like the best. He was like the best combative defensive player in some metrics on the day. And he's this like wide attacker. Just absolutely incredible. So before we talk about Armando Broja being linked with other clubs and potentially going to be sold, and could Chelsea be tempted? We'll talk about that and the other loanees. I want to talk about the 4-1-4-1 because obviously this has got the best out of Hakim Ziyech. Why is this? It's not so light here. Anyway, it's got the best out of Hakim Ziyech. So I understand the 3-4-3, right? Okay. I understand how it's been really, really good, robust for us. I'm going to turn my light up a little bit. Excuse me while I get real close. It's been great for us in terms of not conceding any big chances and whatever. But the truth is, it was, and I know, it was so dependent on the wing-backs being fit and in form in Reece James and Ben Chilwell. And when they both were, if they were both in form and if they were both fit now, I'd be like, yeah, just play that immediately. Forget everything. No matter how exciting we've been in this, fullback system, just revert to that. That's what made us as good, and if not slightly better at times, than both City and Liverpool. We were top of the Premier League. We won the Champions League with those wing-backs. It's a vulnerable system, and as soon as they go, it makes you feel weak, and you haven't got anything to lean on, and that's ultimately why we suffered throughout December and January. But when they're there and it's working, it's great and we flourish. So I'm all for that. When one goes, you're in trouble. When 2 goes, you're done out here. So, back four system makes sense, and we tried a 4-2-2-2, which was okay, but the 4-1-4-1 seemingly worked very well, of course, just to pick a back four. Jorginho being the lone CDM in front of the back four kind of worked, because it's not a 4-3-3, it's literally a bank of four, and they all sort of help behind the striker. It kind of works, so Jorginho played well there on the day. I do think, personally, in terms of player profile, Chelsea will be looking to get a more conventional CDM in something like Declan Rice or Aurélien Tchouameni, who are both playing excellent, and of course both are very young. Jorginho is 30 now, and there's no disrespect to Jorginho. At what he does, he's the best. But in terms of, not being a regista and being more of a conventional CDM in a back four system, you're gonna want someone like Rice or Tchouameni. So, and then you've got, Mason Mount played an excellent game. Kovacic is good as well, and they sort of play as hybrid eights, sort of inside 10s, and then you've got real wide players like Hudson-Odoi and Hakim Ziyech. Hudson-Odoi wasn't amazing, but he was pretty good at times, and that's his best position. It's not as far back as a wing back, but he's not an inside 10 in a 3-4-3. He gets to be a proper winger, man. Do you know what I mean? So he can get chalk on his boots down the touchline and dribble the ball in. Less said about Lukaku, the better. but when it comes to Ziyech, bro, occupying that space, I tweeted this, man. He dropped like an Eden Hazard style performance yesterday in terms of just being the main man. And when you can't be a collective systemic piece of work with the 3-4-3, with, like I said, Reece James and Ben Chilwell being the most important players, then it's almost better to let someone take the wheel. Do you know what I mean? And Hakim Ziyech did that, like Eden Hazard used to. And I don't think it would be fair to drop all that pressure on a player like, oh, you're the best attacker, you got to do it. But what I think is conducive to this working is Ziyech. It kind of works, man. And I'm going to tell you why. Remember when Bruno Fernandes went to Man United, and before Cristiano Ronaldo came, he was just the main character, and it worked, and he was amazing. His productivity for Manchester United was nothing short of incredible. Hakim Ziyech won Player of the Year at Ajax, was it 3 or 4 years in a row? Like Bruno Fernandes from Sporting, he was used to being the best player. Fernandes was fortunate enough to continue that persona in a crap United team. Ziyech has come into a team that's, got all these signed superstars, like, Werner, Havertz, and whatever, all the others, and, Pulisic was playing well at the time. So yeah, it was difficult for Ziyech, but if you let Ziyech feel like he's the main man and take control, and I think he flourishes. I think he's like a Bruno Fernandes. 2 years ago on this channel in 2020, I was talking about how excited I was about Hakim Ziyech and how I've compared him to Bruno Fernandes a couple of times on the channel in that way of being a game changer, just being the man. Like, give it to me and I'll sort this out, and I'll play better for taking on that role. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I'm not saying this is us from now on. Just for us for the moment, this is the best thing we can do. And he's 28, 29, Ziyech now. Let him cook. Do you know what I mean? He can do it. And it's not just about, playing against the team who's not going to do anything and giving him space so he can play really well. Those defensive metrics, those hard-working metrics off the ball, if he's going to play like that, and if he wants to take on this role as talisman, I think he should. And I want to talk about that. We did get more chances to Lukaku as well. I think he missed 3 big chances, which is, we're not going to get into that now necessarily, but it obviously offers the striker more opportunities as well. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Let's talk about stay on strikers. Let's not talk about the formation anymore. Let's stay on strikers and talk about Armando Broja, because of course he's doing really well at Southampton on loan, scoring goals. And in the last game, that when he even scored an offside goal, was really good work, man. And a lot of people are thinking, ooh, we can fancy a bit of that. To be honest, man, even Tammy Abraham, I know Tammy Abraham's been sold, I do know that, but we do have a buyback clause on him, so we'll be keeping an eye on him. He scored 11 goals for Roma and Serie A. But, I don't want to get too excited because, Romelu Lukaku scored infinite amount of goals over in Serie A for probably a better team. But Tammy, there's make no bones about it. This transfer to Roma will be amazing for Tammy Abraham's development as a player. New culture, new style of football, new club, new language. He's still a young player. How old is he? Like 24. He'll be developing. If Chelsea bought back Tammy Abraham when he was like 26, so that'll still be 2 years younger than buying Romelu Lukaku back. They could be buying, a much more complete striker. Maybe, who knows? A lot of people are still not overly interested in Tammy Abraham, but I wanted to shout him out. But Armando Broja has been incredible. He's very young, of course. I think he's 21. He looks like people are comparing him to Diego Costa stylistically in terms of that sort of relentless, direct play, just taking the ball on the turn, running through on goal and getting a shot off on target. Incredible work from Armando Broja. The Saints fans absolutely love him, as, for example, the Palace fans absolutely adore Conor Gallagher. I'm going to read you a quick thing here from the Daily Echo. Get up on screen as well, so you guys can see it. That's just okay. West Ham are lining up talks with Chelsea to discuss a further possible late January bid for Armando Broja. According to a report by the Football Insider, Broja shone during his loan spell at Saints this campaign, notching 7 goals in 19 appearances, more than anyone else in the team. Bearing in mind, a lot of those appearances are off the bench, and he's still the top scorer. And there's moments like the last game when he's through on goal, and against Man City as well, and nearly scored a wonderful. He did score a wonderful goal that was slightly offside, so it's showing you that the lad's got it. That sparked hopes the Saints might be able to land the Chelsea frontman on a permanent deal, something Ralph Hasenhüttl has expressed his eagerness to do. Yes, he has. However, the latest report claims the Hammers have now turned their attentions to Broja and are, quote, closely monitoring, end quote, his situation, and they're set to test the water with a late move as they look to beat Saints to the deal. Basically, everyone wants Armando Broja, and understandably, it's just another one of Cobham's academy of graduates that are playing at the highest level. Off the top of my head, what have we got? Like, you got Tammy Abraham, and Fikayo Tomori, and Ethan Ampadu. Well, we bought him from Exeter, but I think he played a little bit in the academy, representing City A. And then there's loads in the Championship, which is, of course, still a high level. But how many have we got in the Premier League? We've got the Chelsea boys, so I'm always going to forget one. You got, Hudson-Odoi, Mason Mount, Reece James, oh God, I'm going to forget loads. How am I forgetting some? Andreas Christensen. There is a bunch in the you'll definitely correct me here and tell me the ones I've forgotten. But you've got Tino Livramento at Southampton with Broja. You've got Conor Gallagher and Nketiah's Chelsea Academy. Who else is there's Lamptey. There's loads, man. There's so many. I saw a list and I'm basically not remembering most of them. But incredible. Cobham's graduates all over. Riddled to the Premier League. It's riddled with Cobham graduates. Armando Broja. Now, you guys watching this would be like, if Chelsea sell him, I'm going to be fuming. But the truth is, Chelsea's model, and with the fact how we've not done well financially recently in terms of our reported returns, making a big financial losses, if Southampton or indeed West Ham wave £20 million at Chelsea for their academy graduate, and Chelsea put in a buyback clause for £40 million, they'll probably take that. They'll probably be like, yes, please. So if they say, right, as long as we can buy him back for double, after 2 years. If Armando Broja, say, stays at West Ham and does what sort of Danny Ings did, but maybe Southampton does what Danny Ings did, maybe a bit more. Say he scores like 18 to, say either at West Ham or whatever, like Chelsea sell him to West Ham or Southampton, which are a similar level. Obviously West Ham are high level, but I just wonder if their strikers will score that many goals. If he goes on to score 18 Premier League goals at either one of those, Chelsea would probably be like, alright, we'll trigger this buyback clause in 2 years and buy him as a 23-year-old to lead the line. Maybe. That's how Chelsea were, and they probably want money at the moment. Although reports do suggest that Thomas Tuchel does like Armando Broja. And if there's one thing we've learned is the club are very happy at the moment to back Big Tommy Tuchel in his decisions, and in the way he handled Lukaku. and apparently, transfers and stuff. They're very, very happy with him. Why shouldn't they be? His record's been pretty darn immaculate, and we've only really had a significant dip when we've been in this congested period of time. You could argue at the end of the Premier League last season, but we went on to win the Champions League, and we are champions of Europe. I hope Broja gets a chance at Chelsea, because I think had he been in the team, I don't know, he'd be getting more chances over Werner probably. Although we've got Lukaku, Havertz, Werner. It's so difficult. So I'm going to put it out to you guys. What do you think? And think about it properly. Think about those three players, the aforementioned players, Werner, Havertz, Lukaku. You can't just sell Lukaku. What's going to happen with Werner? Havertz is such a good player, and Roman Abramovich really wanted him. I do want to spend some time talking about Conor Gallagher, because he's been nothing short of magnificent this season. And what we do, looking at how we've been playing recently, like yesterday, for example, we played really well. We had two sort of attacking eights in Mount and Kovacic, and then we had Jorginho starting as lone CDM, and then Conte coming off the bench for him. That looks pretty healthy off the bat. We know also that he's played Ruben Loftus-Cheek there before in that sort of lone six. Granted, it was in a different system. Where would I guess Conor Gallagher would have to be one of those attacking eights. He could be in rotation, I suppose, the first, but also you could maybe think Kai Havertz could be one of those attacking eights. We've got a lot of players. Really, if we brought one extra midfielder into this current fold, you'd be like, it's going to be a specialised CDM. Maybe like a big money signing, excuse me, in Declan Rice or in Aurélien Tchouameni, who Petr Cech reportedly really, really likes. Conor Gallagher is too good to not be at Chelsea. People could probably say the same about Armando Broja, but how do we fit them in, and who goes? Do you know what I mean? Of course, watch this space. I'll keep you guys updated. Any big story that comes out, I'm going to talk about and reflect on here. But I wanted to talk about it in today's video and put it out to you guys, because that's, they're so good, man, and we've got so many good senior players as well. It's going to be very, very difficult. So let me know what your thoughts are below. Comment down below. Please do drop a like. It means a lot. You're welcome to subscribe, friends. Keep it locked. Make sure the bell notifications icon is turned on, because there's a lot happening with Chelsea all the time, and you'll be the first to hear about my commentary on it here if you have the bell notifications icon turned on. Friends, enjoy the football. I'll see you later.